So it's April, 2nd?
Yeah.
Yep.
2012. Another month, another podcast, another show. It's the 404 hour on CNET TV. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
And I am Justin Yu. This is the show where we go one step beyond.
What is that?
Oh, I was just listening to that Madness song this morning.
Madness?
You know that song?
Like Our House?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do that other song that goes like, one step beyond. It kind of sounds like the Count from Sesame Street.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh!
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
It goes like, one step beyond. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Richard, you
I don't know what
You
he's
have
talking
no
about.
idea what I'm
No.
talking about. Am I taking crazy pills here?
I think you're just a terrible singer.
No,
That's
I'm
what I
not tone
think.
deaf. Listen to this.
All right, I'm trying to listen.
This is the heavy, heavy man.
It goes
Oh.
like,
The rockin' it.
hold on.
No,
hold on.
I don't know what that is,
Hold on,
man.
play it. No?
Oh, yeah, there you go. Well, you should have just played, like, the ska part that I really
Yeah,
liked.
yeah.
All right, cool. Well, this is a great start to our week. Not a lot of stuff going on this weekend, but how was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't really do much. Went to a birthday party.
Did you now?
Stayed in, played some Mass Effect 2.
That's
It
what
was like
Richard
a really
did.
standard weekend.
That's what Richard did,
I'm
right?
stealing Richard's
I did.
weekend.
I did. I played Mass Effect 2
So
a little bit. I'm a little behind, a few years behind everybody else.
It's
but-
fine. No one's perfect, number one. Number two, I have a problem with the amount of hours you decided to commit to the program there. I mean, 2 hours
Yeah.
is... You ain't making any headway with 2
I
hours,
know.
brother.
I know. Well, I have a lot of roommates, and so they're always watching TV.
Oh, you have
and
a lot
it's
of
kinda-
roommates?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a TV? You
I
have a
should.
room? You have your own room?
Yeah, I have my own room,
So
but I
get-
don't have a TV in my room.
Dude,
so-
come on, let's get with the program
I know.
here.
I can't believe
know.
you're making fun of Richard for saying that he only spent 2 hours
No,
playing video
Richard
games
is
this
saying,
weekend.
and I wonder if people have this problem, because I don't, I'm married now, so it's like sort of, I guess I have similar issues, but, so you're saying the problem is that there's too many people in your living room area.
Yeah.
There's a lack of time.
Right.
Okay.
So if he had more time, you'd be playing more.
Yes.
So when you used to live with roommates, was that a problem for your other roommates? Like, I know one of your other roommates was a big gamer, right? They were playing like Wii. a
Yeah,
lot.
we played Wii a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Wii is a group game, so we would never have a problem with other people interrupting. Is it that other people want to watch TV or do
But-
things?
and
Yeah,
you-
they're
and you-
watching
It's
TV.
like a shared
or-
common area.
And you want to play.
Yeah.
Is it ever like, guys, come on, let me play, like,
Kind of.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I could live like
Yeah.
that.
I usually just wait till there's no one in there, and then I go in. It's usually them coming to me saying, we want to watch TV or we want to watch a movie. Or
Oh, imagine getting
Yeah.
kicked off
I
like
know.
that.
None of your roommates are video game watchers then.
Mm.
That's what I am, and I've done
Yeah,
that with
not
you
really.
a lot, Jeff. And I wonder if that's just me.
Well, you're a rare breed.
Yeah.
Not
People
every-
that prefer to watch other people play video games
Yeah.
because they're not people that can't watch.
For sure. There's a lot of people who, I guess, they can't, and
Yeah.
you're in the minority with that.
Right.
I just don't understand how people can just sit there and watch people play video
Well, it's like the
games.
same reason why people like watching professional sports. If they can't do it, they'd like to see someone else that can do it well.
I'm not sure we're
And you're
ready
a good
to.
video gamer.
I'm not sure we're ready to equate professional sports with like, oh, I'm good at Halo.
Yeah.
I know there are a lot of people
Well,
in
it's
this
something that I
industry.
can't do.
Well, I guess, yeah, I don't know, but I think there's certain games like the BioShocks and the even Mass Effect is, I think, a decent game to watch because it's so
yeah, it's kind of
dramatic
entertaining.
Right.
and cinematic. But I'm curious. I want to know if people out there are sort of like forced with their, significant others or whoever may be, friends, family, having to, watch another person play games.
Right.
Are you that kind of person? Because I sure as crap am not.
Yeah.
It kills me when they take me out to see a game. They're like, oh, this is a hands-off demo. So that's when I'm like packing up. I'm like, okay, well, what am I doing?
Right.
I don't want to watch some, person play a video game for, 2 hours. I
Is
wanna
it
play.
because you're seeing them make mistakes in the game that you
Not at
wouldn't make?
all. Not at all. Although that's a super frustrating sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're supposed to jump there. It's so obvious.
Idiot.
But I just can't watch people play,
Okay.
especially when it's something that I want to get my hands on instead.
Fair enough.
All right, so that was the weekend.
Well, over the weekend, yesterday was April Fool's. Did you guys play any pranks on your friends or anyone else in your life?
No, I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah,
Yeah?
I forgot about it too, and I just want to, preface this whole thing with saying I am so grateful that this day landed on a weekend this year
Okay.
because it is so stupid. I mean, the lengths at
why
which
why am I not surprised
but
that you
the
hate
lengths
this
at
holiday?
which people go
Yeah.
to create these sort of elaborate things,
Right.
it's just it's the we can't we just totally blow everything out of the water.
And if you were
know
a
what I mean?
smart pranker, you wouldn't choose April
Exactly,
Fool's
'cause
Day for
everyone's
your prank. Everyone's on their
expecting it.
toes.
Everybody's expecting it to happen.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a fun holiday. I like it.
No, okay. So you want to round up some stuff that
Yeah,
you saw
let's talk about
yesterday?
some stuff. I mean,
Okay.
April Fool. The internet pretty much ruined April Fool's.
They did.
Right?
They
I
killed the
mean,
internet. Killed
They
everything.
really, really killed it.
Internet
Google
killed
specifically.
the April Fool's Day.
Yeah, that's
Like,
what our show title should
yeah,
have been.
Yeah.
Dang it! Can we go
Damn.
back and change that?
Hell yeah, we can.
I'm gonna do it.
do it. See if I can.
We got to edit out that whole one step beyond conversation in
fine.
the beginning, though.
It's fine.
That was a lame conversation.
It was
anyway.
terrible.
Thanks, Richard.
We'll strike that from the record.
So Google had a pretty good one this weekend. I thought.
was
They always
that?
come up with some creative ideas.
They do.
And they did April Fool's pranks across all of their platforms.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like we've been talking recently more about Google auto drive cars.
Right.
Like cars that drive themselves. And I think there was a story that came out last week that I thought was an April Fool's prank. It was about a blind man testing one of the driverless cars, and he asked to take him to a Taco Bell, and I think it did. Did you read that story?
No. But we were actually getting ready to talk about that a little more in depth as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear this specific blind
This
guy
one
goes
actually
to Taco
took him
Bell.
through a drive-through, and he ordered a meal.
How did he know when to order?
What?
It was just
Oh, he
'cause-
wasn't deaf too. He heard.
No, I
the
guess so. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it just said like, "Hi, welcome to Taco Bell." Okay.
right, right.
So this was like in. It wasn't like a closed environment. This was like
Yeah.
straight up real traffic. The whole man. That's
Yeah,
a
and it took him
ballsy-
through that really narrow
Yeah.
thing. You know,
So
it actually worked pretty well.
How did it go? How did it work?
So anyway, the prank involving Google driverless cars, they claim that they started a partnership with NASCAR to sponsor their own self-driving Google racing circuit.
Oh my god.
So where there was like a video that came out that was hosted by Sergey Brin, one of the founders of Google. And it showed them. There's actually a video that went along with it showing a bunch of cars driving around a NASCAR racetrack
I wanna
without
get-
drivers.
I want to get back. That's pretty funny. I want to get back to that whole driverless car thing.
Okay.
But you can continue with April Fools. Can I tell you one I saw real quick that I was not mad at?
What?
I think it was Think Geek, and they
Oh.
did you know those meeps for Easter, those like marshmallow bunnies.
Peeps.
Peeps. I said meeps. What the hell's a meep?
I don't know. Sounds derogatory.
They're like, oh, introducing this holiday for Easter,
Right.
creeps, and they were just these like little zombie marshmallows.
Aw.
But they weren't real.
That's
Why
harmless.
would you not do that?
That's a good idea,
It is a good
actually.
idea.
Yeah.
Creeps. My dad is a peep fanatic.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I remember the Tauntaun sleeping bag that Think Geek has.
yep.
That started out as an April Fool's prank, I believe, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But then the fans of Star Wars loved it so much they wrote into Think Geek and made them make it into
They're
a
like,
real
we want
product."
this joke to be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you can't really do April Fool's pranks on geeks.
You can't, or the internet.
yeah. Again.
What else was there
Internet
this
ruined the prank
this
stars.
this weekend that was funny?
More Google stuff. So Google Chrome introduced multitask mode, and there was a video that went along with all these pranks. Multitask mode basically enabled the user to scroll with two different mice. There was like a video of a guy editing like a video in Final Cut.
Yeah.
At the same time, he was writing like a document or
Yeah.
scrolling through a web page. It
Not
was pretty
bad.
funny. And they had like a special Chrome browser that split the screen in two, so
Mm-hmm.
you could operate two browsers at once. Not a bad idea.
It just seems like so much effort.
I think they should actually enable this because people might be
Two
able
mice.
to do two mice at the same time.
Art, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Do you think you'd be able to train your brain to operate two mice at the same time?
I have enough time walking and chewing gum at the same time.
This
I'm
is
not
like
a-
the 21st century equivalent of like patting your stomach and
rubbing your head or
your head,
vice
just-
versa.
Yeah, whatever, at the same time.
Yeah. I don't
think I
know,
could do
dude.
it.
I'm not down for that. I'm sorry. Too much. It's like a wax on, wax off sort of thing.
I
I'm
would
not
be.
into.
I want to see you try to paint two separate pictures in MS Paint with double mice. I wonder how that would turn out.
You're on.
If I asked you to like draw a dog with one and a car with another,
No, it would, dude. I would just alternate hands. It wouldn't even be like I would hold them both, but it
Wouldn't
wouldn't
be at
get
the
done.
same time?
No, yeah, it's crazy, but it is
Okay.
funny. I'm not that
was
mad at
alright.
these. You're picking out good examples.
well, Google always has good ones. They revealed Gmail Tap that basically splits your smartphone screen into 4 Morse code sections.
Okay.
So you could like literally tap your screen
I feel like
on your Android
I
phone.
feel like today they're starting next year's.
What do you mean?
I mean, this is how much thought and sort of effort goes into this stuff.
Yeah, there's like a think tank for
Yeah,
2013.
they're like, all right, let's get the books out.
Yeah.
Time to think about what we're doing for 2013.
I wonder how much money it cost them.
I'm
to do
serious.
these.
It's got to be sizable.
Yeah.
You know, they're creating these graphics and you know they're making these productions.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a big deal. What about the Google Maps square 8-bit Google Maps thing? You see
Oh
that?
yeah, that one was pretty cool.
You know,
Let me see if I can bring this up. Yeah, here we go. This is like an article.
it just seems like it's so much money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. This is like the what is that from the old Enix games?
Yeah, Square Enix.
Square Enix on NES.
Yeah.
So it makes it look all the Google Maps.
Yeah.
Like 8-bit computations.
Cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. What else? Anything else?
Kodak came up with one that was kind of lame. Clearly, they don't have a lot of money to create these sorts of things.
Their April Fool's budget was slashed.
Yeah, the April Fool's prank isn't that they were going bankrupt.
What
'cause
was
that
it?
already happened.
Yeah. So what were they doing?
It was that. They came out with a service called Live Print.
Yeah.
It's kind of a play on the whole 3D printing
Okay.
trend.
And then
Live
someone's
Print
like-
lets users print out kittens from retail kiosks in various stores and like Target and Walmart. And they showed like a kitten coming out of a kiosk.
Way to be hip, Kodak.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, these things are real. What?
Yeah. I feel like coming out with kitten-related stuff is really appealing to the lowest common denominator on the
It's
on the
low-hanging
internet, too.
fruit.
Yeah, right? Like, you could put anything kitten-related.
Yeah.
Just trying to get the clicks.
Just guaranteed.
Yeah.
Speaking of April Fool's announcements, I feel like this is one real announcement way too close to April Fool's.
Yeah.
And when I first read this, I was like, oh, this is April Fool's.
Right.
But no.
They picked the wrong day to really
They
come out
picked the
with this
wrong day
news.
because this is borderline unbelievable. Reports are out today that Ashton Kutcher is actually going to be playing Steve Jobs in the biopic.
I think we've actually predicted this before, just based on
Jokingly.
the way that he looks.
But didn't we do it jokingly?
I said it seriously because I remember his hair now looks a lot like Steve Jobs did.
Well, that's the thing. And if you
the
look at this
70s.
photo from the 70s, Ashton Kutcher now,
Yeah.
and
then
Steve
go back
Jobs
and
then.
watch Pirates of Silicon Valley. He looks kind of exactly like him.
But
He
I
just
don't.
grow a little flavor saver on his chin there.
Do you think he can do it? I mean, has he ever been in a real drama before?
Butterfly Effect.
Has
Hello.
Has he ever been in a real drama before?
I mean, he's played serious roles before.
When? Oh, right. The day Kelso got his girlfriend pregnant.
Yeah, I
Come on.
mean, I think he has. Let me think.
Yeah, you can't.
No, I
No.
mean, aside from Butterfly Effect.
I mean,
which
Dude,
he
Where's Your Car
excellent.
was a stretch. Dude, Where's My Car?
Yeah.
That really made me think about it.
That was not. Oh, he's done like romantic comedies, like No Strings Attached before.
I ask again.
Okay.
Has he ever been in a real dramatic role?
Reindeer Games.
I never saw that.
Okay.
I heard good stuff about that,
Yeah.
but
I think that was it.
I don't know. This is crazy.
But yeah, like obviously Steve Jobs has a really big personality, and he was kind of controlling, sort of a jerk, according to a lot of people, according to Walter Isaacson's biography. I don't know if Ashton Kutcher can play that role.
Yeah, I don't know if he could play a jerk.
Yeah. So this is a story that came out yesterday, and I guess there's going to be an independent biopic.
Biopic.
I think it's biopic.
I think biopic makes sense because it's a picture of biography.
Put your money where your
Biopic.
mouth is, man.
I got no money on me.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think, Richard? Is it biopic? There's no way.
What's the chat room saying?
I don't know.
Biopic is
I think
like
it's biopic.
No, that's like biopsy, like testing something if it's cancerous.
I don't know. I asked one of my friends who majored in cinema in college. He said it rhymes with myopic,
Really?
and it's not myopic. I don't know. Anyway, so
It's biopic.
Yeah, I would
Everyone's
say biopic.
yeah. Everyone in the
I'd say
chat.
biopic.
Silverblade, Eric MCI.
oh, what does Silverblade know? He dropped out of film school.
Hey, JJ Cool Soccer
Yeah.
says bio dash 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 pick.
That guy's 10 years old. What does he know?
So, okay, then John Strickland goes, it's biopic. We have
John
a chat
wins.
room that's totally on the same level as us.
I love
That's why
that.
we love them. That's
Yeah.
freaking funny as hell.
Too early to be stoned, guys.
It's biopic. How could it be biopic?
Irregardless, Ashton Kutcher will be starring as Steve Jobs in the biopic
Do you really
called Jobs coming out
Isn't
next year.
it? You understand? Like, if your first knee-jerk reaction is like, "This is ridiculous."
Are you gonna have to
What?
ask Merriam-Webster right now
No, 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 no.
how to
I'm not,
pronounce
I don't
this?
give a crap about how you pronounce it. I'm just saying, Ashton Kutcher as the legendary and innovative genius Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
No.
Would you,
I don't
in a
think so.
million years, did you ever think that would happen?
No, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
It's insanity, dude.
Can you turn my volume up right now? Really quick?
Why? There's nothing playing, dude.
There will be in
What?
1 second.
Okay.
Biopic.
Oh!
Guess what?
Dang it!
Biopic.
All right.
The robot said it my way. Okay. That
The
equals.
I love that.
knows.
That was like biopic. Screw
that
you,
equals
Justin.
You being wrong.
What does Merriam-Webster know? No one's ever cited Merriam-Webster as
What
a
does she
legitimate
know?
source.
What does Miriam know?
Let me ask Siri. She'll know.
I want to talk seriously about self-driving cars, though.
Okay.
I'm serious because I read this article here on usatoday.com from last week, or it was like 2 weeks ago, and it really got me thinking about how this might be the thing that makes our generation feel the same way our parents' generation felt when the internet came out.
Okay.
Something so alienating and sort of like throwing you for a curveball. This article, and it's definitely optimistic.
Okay.
But this article from USA Today, it's written by a woman named Alyssa Priddle.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa Priddle, Detroit Free Press. That I guess there's a little undertone there. The Detroit Free Press. What comes out of Detroit? Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
She's saying, and she gives a lot of examples, she truly believes that cars in our lifetimes, and not so far in the distant future, will be driving themselves 24/7. She believes that it is going to happen, and she says not only is it going to happen, like you said, with real life examples, it already is happening.
Right.
And they're actually getting to the point where they're going through a trial, and they're doing a 10,000 mile or it's actually hitting the 10,000 mile mark of these driverless clinics and sort of trials and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, I feel like that's the one thing. Like, if you told our parents when they were 15 that by the time they had kids who were in college, they'd be able to like have a phone with them anywhere they go.
Yeah, I guess
I feel like it's the same sort of science fiction barrier.
No, totally. If
You know what
that
I mean?
will eventually happen. But what I'm wondering is, will there ever be a time when you have to drive a driverless car? Like, you have to be in a driverless car? Or will there be streets that occupy both driverless cars
That's a great
and cars
question.
with drivers?
That's a great question. I'm
you
sure.
know, like, will you have a choice?
Right, like will the car go into autopilot and then manual mode?
Right.
And then you have to like pop back into the front seat and be like, oh, hold on, this road's not on the map. I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to really take over right here.
Yeah, and a lot of people would lose jobs in the auto industry. I mean,
No, they wouldn't.
Detroit would pretty much fall off the planet.
What are you talking about?
You
The
don't
cars
think
still
that?
have to be built.
Yeah, but I don't know.
No, what do you?
You're also discounting people that like driving cars too.
Oh, I like
if you had the
driving as
option,
well.
would you prefer not to be driving the car?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it would take a lot for me to get over the whole I'm no longer in control of this vehicle thing. But if it's and the great thing about this is that they're sort of explaining how it will never hit people.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
okay.
Like, you'll never hit anybody. There's
Like a
no more
cyclist, for
accidents.
example.
There's nothing.
I feel like self-driving cars would also eliminate traffic as well.
Of course they would.
Yeah.
They would, because there's no such thing as rubbernecking anymore.
Right. If the highway was all driverless cars, that's what I'm
Right. You
saying.
can't have like a mishmash.
Right.
What they would wind up doing, and this is me sort of taking, a sort of science fiction freedom with the whole thing, is I would imagine like certain roads are autopilot and some are not. And like once you pop on the freeway, you sort of just like let go, and the thing's like taking you to
Right.
Atlantic City.
But if we're going to have driverless cars, why don't we just invest more in public transportation? Because it would basically be the same thing, just a bigger vehicle. Right?
I don't disagree.
I mean, it seems like just a waste of space if we have parking lots
well,
full
it
of driverless
didn't work in Minority
cars.
Report, did it?
No, it didn't.
I don't know.
But do you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah,
like,
I
why
do.
do we even need to have parking lots if we can just have one, a better public transportation?
So you're saying a full and total revamp of mass transit, public
Right.
transportation.
That's what I think.
Just-
Eliminate cars entirely.
Right. Well, I'm a believer that there should be no non-taxi cab cars in Manhattan. There, I said it.
There should only be taxis driving on
Yeah.
the streets in Manhattan.
That's what I believe. I truly believe. The
Okay.
explosion and and I have a father, Sweet Lou's been driving back and forth to the city for 25 years plus.
Right.
And that would negate what he's been doing. That would make it illegal. They were thinking about doing that. They were going to like cross-section off some of Manhattan.
Right.
And only let commercial vehicles in, and then private passenger cars were only going to get a certain.
That was in the 80s, right?
Oh no, it was more recent.
Oh,
also,
really?
yeah.
I thought Mary Cox did that. Okay, but okay.
I really think that it's becoming think about the amount of time human beings sit in traffic and the wasted man hours and like what that really does to a person.
Yeah.
Like when you find out and you're like 80 and you're like, hey, guess what? 2 years of your life were wasted in traffic.
Yeah.
Is that not the most depressing thing you've ever heard?
I mean, you would have to ask somebody that drives their car to work every day. Is it worth it for them to
The vast
waste
majority
that
of the
money on
country does that.
insurance and gas?
Vast majority of the country does that.
Right.
We're different here.
But okay, taking Sweet Lou, for example, what would be the alternative for him going to work?
Well, his car would either drive itself
Yeah.
or.
But in your taxi-only world.
Well, then he would have to take a bus. Yeah.
Okay.
But the bus
Sweet
system.
Lou's going to be pissed.
He's going to be so
call
pissed
up
that
right now.
he has to like sit next to somebody and maybe possibly touch knees.
Yeah.
Ugh, that is kind
Gross.
of. I hate that though.
Disgusting.
I don't like touching knees. But yeah, I mean, I really think roads are deteriorated. There's a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Cars suck. They're not reliable as reliable as they used to be.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I think it's time, man. And everyone's like, oh, what it's all about the future of cars going green and like flying. No, that's not
Yeah.
gonna happen. I just think a practical future is a driverless sort
Right.
of. Look, we have to treat us like it's an assembly line, like we're just little pieces pawn. I know it's sort of like totalitarian, but
Right.
that's sort of what it is.
So you would choose a driverless car?
I think I would.
I
You want to know why?
I miss driving.
Do you want
in
to know
California.
why? Because I don't trust anyone else driving a car. It's painfully obvious that a lot of people don't know how to drive, specifically in the rain.
Right. What? In the rain?
In the rain, people don't know how to drive in the rain.
Okay.
They have no idea what to do. They're just like, my car's fine. It's just like I can go just as fast as I
Right.
would in perfect driving
Or
conditions.
people falling asleep.
People
There's a
fall-
million
it's
things that can
so
go wrong
many-
when you're in a
How
car.
many people die a year in car accidents?
Right. That's true.
I think it's like one out. I think your odds of dying in a car are like 1 out of like 5,000 or something
I
like
think
that.
the first step needs to be doors that don't open up and fly out. Like
that's 'cause
perpendicular.
You're not gonna be able because your bike.
They need to slide.
You're
Yeah.
worried about your
They need to
bike.
slide open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
I
have
wanna-
gull wing doors.
I want to know what you think, Internet. Give us a call, 866-404-CNET. Before we leave for the day,
Whatever happened to pneumatic tubes? Is that
I was just
not a
thinking
thing?
about that. Yeah, like
Yeah,
on
is-
Futurama and the Jetsons.
Right.
Yeah.
At what point in our history did we discard the idea of pneumatic tubes?
well, I don't know if you realize, but a lot of our innovation seems to come from science fiction film.
Right.
Like Minority Report is like a huge influence. Another thing they did in Minority Report was that mag track.
Right.
Those like magnetic, and those were driverless cars. They were all on autopilot.
Yeah.
Think about how efficient. Think about how UPS gets a package from A to B overnight. Okay, that efficiency most of the time.
Yeah,
Most
but
of the
it would
time.
be an eyesore having tubes going into every
No, no,
building
no,
and
no,
every
no, 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 no,
restaurant.
I'm not saying we should make mail like that. I'm saying equate those packages with you and I and Richard and people, right? Getting that sort of efficiency and moving as quick as those things move.
Yeah.
That's makes sense to me. It's like it's got to be like a very intricate, sort of design. But I think it would work, right?
Yeah, I
I
think it
don't
would
know.
work too.
We're talking about overhauling the entire Department of Transportation.
I think we should write this down and pitch it to the
I know.
Department of
Trademark
Transportation.
404. It's calls from the public time before we got to roll for the day.
Time to show the love.
Call me.
866-404-CNET.
404.
So last week, what are you laughing at?
There's someone in the chat room, Antha Tessads. He says, I used to load trailers at UPS, and no, Jeff. That's it.
The hell does that mean?
Just no.
I watched something on
That
the
would put a lot of people at UPS out of business.
I watched something on the Science Channel a couple weekends ago about how they followed lobsters, like frozen real live lobsters, being shipped overnight, like halfway around the world.
Okay.
And that crap seemed super efficient. I mean, I'm sorry. There's like these unbelievable conveyor belts, and they all just like spit off at each way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's like cool music playing as they
It's like
travel.
what is that?
And the Rune Goldberg.
The Crazy
music.
Factory Pee Wee
Yeah,
Herman music is
yeah.
what you're thinking about, right? I forget how that thing goes, that riff goes. Anyway, calls from the public time. Last week, we talked a hell of a lot about the Sony PlayStation 4, and even Justin had something to say about this because he could relate to the time in our lives when you would bring a game over to a friend's house.
Yeah.
And that whole, reality is probably going to disappear with the sort of fruition of anti-used game technology. Let's hear what our buddy has to say about that. I think he's going to talk more about Sony locking the PlayStation 4.
Hey, 404, this is Atlanta from Elliott. I'm really bummed that you didn't read my email on the air, so I'm going to follow up to a question that you asked and tie it into the email that I sent you guys.
That's a good pro tip.
It was in relation to subscription-based gaming. I don't know, I've been doing this for a long time, specifically Final Fantasy XI, which has been around for almost 10 years. You can buy the game, all of the expansions over the years, and every add-on scenario that they put out for it, for about $5 usually on Steam or on Amazon.com. But you pay $12 a month to continue to play it. So I don't think this is a ridiculous notion to combat piracy or what have you for games moving forward. If you like the game, you're going to keep playing it, and it's honestly not that bad of a deal when you consider you go and play Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcades in the 90s, you were pumping $1 into that game every 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's right about that, comparing subscription-based gaming to the arcade model, where like, okay, I'm in an arcade,
Right.
and I've literally dumped $40 in quarters into this pinball machine.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I don't think that. I think what it also proves is that subscription-based gaming is the better deal to the consumer, and not necessarily a means to increase revenue for the developers and publishers. So, I don't know. Do me a favor though. I want everyone to read the article I wrote on Friday because I don't know. People are like, they're not mad. They're not disagreeing. But I feel like there's just more to add to this conversation about what exactly this future might mean. And the point I brought up was the psychology of like buying a game. Like if I'm going out to buy a game, I'm paying $60 for this game. If it turns out to be awful, you still have this like safety net. You know what I mean?
That you could sell it back.
That you can sell it back.
Yeah, right.
If I'm still paying $60 for a game that I'm stuck with and there's no way I can get around that, there's no way that's going to lead to more game sales.
Right.
There's just no way. Not to mention, not everyone has downloadable, has internet capable of delivering a huge multi-gigabyte game in a reasonable manner.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I like that you sort of brought up the Orwell novel in your show title because it's really appropriate here. I feel like, man, Sony's just the first one to really put their foot down on this.
Yeah, I mean,
messed
Xbox,
up.
Microsoft. There's been rumors that the next Microsoft Xbox will have anti-use game stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all going to do it.
It's like having a book that will disintegrate upon you finishing
Exactly,
reading it.
like self-destructing games.
Right, that's messed up.
I don't know. I mean, I think it. It has to happen eventually. Physical media cannot be around forever. But to that end, there's still a sort of psychology that goes along with the whole idea of it. Finally, let's end things on a lighter note. We have some really dedicated listeners who recall amazing anniversaries for our show.
Oh.
Hey, what's going on, 404 team? Love the show. I just wanted to call in and wish you all, especially Jeff, happy punch-a-tween in the head month, or was it mouth? Either way. This is in response to the story you ran last year about a kid calling in and saying, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't have a computer when you were 13. I've got an iPad, an iPhone, an iMac, and all that." And Jeff declared it punch-a-tween in the mouth month. And it's an appropriate month since it's your birthday month, too, man. So have a good one. Happy birthday and happy punch-a-tween in the mouth month.
I think we'll make April. I think he's probably referring to March, but April is officially punch-a-tween in the face month.
Let's get on that.
Let's get on that. I mean, if you probably have a little cousin who's spoiled with his Vita and his iPod Touch and his iPad.
Yeah,
and how dare you show him your old Game Gear?
Right.
You know that you have in mint condition, and he just spits on it in front of you.
It doesn't even have to be tweens, though. Just punch anyone in the head that had stuff you didn't have when you were a kid. Like, I was talking to a 22-year-old the other day, And
That's someone who's only 6 years younger than you.
Right. But
That's a big
I was
gap,
talking to
though.
her about what she did in high school, and she was telling me like, oh, like I would film my friends doing funny stuff with our flip cameras, and then we would upload them to our Facebook pages,
Yeah.
and then send them to our friends.
Cool.
What?
That sounds
We didn't
easy.
even have Facebook in high school.
I don't care that we didn't have Facebook. I cared that we didn't have little micro camcorders
Right.
that fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
I'm like the guy carrying around this old, VHS camcorder.
Got a shoulder.
Shoulder-mounted thing. Trying to be all artsy and
You did
whatnot.
not have one of those in high school. Come on.
I had
Camcorders were more advanced
No,
than
I
that.
know. But it was still big. And it couldn't fit in your freaking wallet.
You're exaggerating now.
But you couldn't fit it in your pocket like you could with a flip cam.
Yeah.
Same
Remember when we would
pain.
take yearbook photos, there'd be the guy standing behind the camera with the flash bulb that would go off.
You'd have to replace the bulb after each
Yeah.
flash. Yeah. It's like that scene in Back to the Future 3, right?
Yeah. It was that old.
All right, guys. Hope you had a great Monday. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow with a brand new show. I think we're going to get Jill this week, too. It's about time
She
we
hasn't
looked
been on the show.
About time we looked over our finances and whatnot, especially with the tax day coming up.
Ooh.
So that'll be a good show. Stay tuned for that. And that's going to do it for us. 866-404-CNET is the number to call. Email us, the404@cnet.com. Let us know what you thought about all the topics we covered today. We'll see you soon. I'm Jeff Bacalar.
And I'm Justin Yu.
It's the 404 High Tech Lowbrow. Have a great Monday, guys. See you tomorrow.